Hello everyone. So the next topic that we will be starting is called as antibiotics. This is from the paper CHORT 4.2 Unit 3. Coming to the introduction of antibiotics. The term antibiotic has been derived from the word antibiosis, which according to biology concept means the survival of fittest, a process in which one organism may destroy another to preserve itself. What is an antibiotic? It is a chemical substance produced by or derived from living cells which is capable in small concentrations of inhibiting the life processes or even destroying the microorganism. That is, the antibiotic actually inhibits the life processes. That means it might control certain type of cell cycle, and then further it is used in a very small concentration so that one microorganism, the component of one microorganism can kill the other microorganism. That is how antibiotics are medicines that fight bacterial infections in people and animals. They work by killing the bacteria or by making it hard for the bacteria to grow and multiply. These are being taken in different ways. It can be orally, that is by mouth, and can be taken as pills, capsules, or liquids. Antibiotics, they are extremely helpful when used in a very rightful purpose. Too many antibiotics, if prescribed at a particular time, then may not be effective. But many antibiotics have been prescribed for viral infections also, like colds, flu, diarrhea, etc. But there are certain antibiotics which may not be effective at all, and there are bacteria which are completely resistant to these bacteria, these antibiotics, like MRSA, methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus, vancomycin, VRE, multi-drug resistance Mycobacterium tuberculosis, then carbapenem resistance Enterobacteriaceae CRE gut bacteria. So these bacteria, they are very much resistant to the antibiotics. So certain antibiotics may not work on certain of the bacteria. But when antibiotics are used at a very low concentration, they are essentially to bring about their antibiotic action. They are classified as chemotherapeutic agents. That means chemical structures which are helpful to destroy certain kind of bacteria. The action of antibiotics are very specific. That is, an antibiotic has been found to be effective against certain types of microorganisms only. Originally, antibiotics must have been a product of metabolism, although it might have been synthesized. That is, from a microorganism, it was actually isolated first, then it was tried to be synthesized. If the antibiotic is a synthetic product, then it should be a structural analog of naturally occurring antibiotic. So whatever is a naturally occurring antibiotic is present, it should be always similar to whatever we try to synthesize. That means in a pot, if we try to synthesize an antibiotic, it should try to mimic the natural condition. The antibiotic must be effective at lower concentration, so that at 500 milligrams, say 250 milligrams, it should be effective. Antibiotic must antagonize the growth and or survival of one or more species of microorganisms. That means it should not allow the growth of a microorganism, or it should cause the death of the microorganism. Antibiotic should be very much effective against a pathogen. It must be very much significant in terms of its stability. It should be highly stable, and it should be easily isolated in form of various doses to be absorbed. It should be able to be stored for a longer period of time without appreciable loss of its activity. The rate of detoxification is also important for an antibiotic. That is, elimination and detoxification must be easily done. Between us, sufficient time interval, because if it remains in the body, then it is not helpful to the body. The antibiotic should be completely eliminated from the system as soon as its administration has been stopped. Now coming to the classification of the antibiotics. When I say classification, there are three types. It is called as the first classification, second classification and third classification. They have been classified on the different. Coming to the classification of antibiotics, the antibiotics have been classified in a number of different ways. That is, first classification. The broad-based classification of antibiotics divides them into the following two types. Broad-spectrum antibiotics. These include such antibiotics which may be used as curative agents against several ailments. There is a considerable overlapping amongst them, but each is usually superior to others against some specific diseases. Examples of broad spectrum antibiotics are penicillin, chloramphenicol, tetracyclines. That is for a larger type of bacteria, these broad spectrum antibiotics have been used. Second one, narrow spectrum antibiotics. These includes such antibiotics which are highly specific in their action. Examples are bacitracin, nystatin. That means these are effective against lesser number of bacteria. The second classification includes in which they are based on the types of bacteria, that is gram positive or gram negative. This depends upon the type of the bacteria and the antibiotic that it can destroy. This classification was originally worked by Christian Gram and is called as Gram staining method. In this method, fixed bacterial smear is made to treat with a solution of crystal violet followed by a treatment with iodine solution. The smear is then washed with alcohol. The bacteria which retain the color of crystal violet and appear to be deep violet in color are known as gram-positive bacteria. On the other hand, bacteria which lose the violet color and get contour stained by the safranin and appear red in color are called gram-negative bacteria. An example for a gram-positive bacteria can be Pneumococcus. An example from a gram-negative bacteria can be Gonococcus. A third type of classification is based on chemical structure. Now, this classification of antibiotics is based on their structures. Although there exists great variation in their chemistries, yet there are certain similarities in their structure, and it has been suggested that such antibiotics are produced due to similar mechanisms in different organisms and exert their therapeutic actions also in a similar manner. The different classes are beta-lactams or penicillins. These are derived from amino acids. Examples, penicillin, cephalosporins. Now, these are most widely used antibiotics in the NHS. All contain a beta-lactam ring. The very many examples like cephalosporins. Most of the time, the mode of the action is they inhibit the bacterial cell wall biosynthesis. Second example, second type is aminoglycosides. These contain a sugar molecule in form of a D-ribose or a D-glucosamine, glycosidically linked to an amino compound. Examples are streptomycin, neomycin C, etc. These have the mode of action through the inhibition the synthesis of the proteins by bacteria leading to the cell death. Third one is chloramphenicol. They have got many type of synthetic analogues. Now, this is a distinct individual compound in which the mode of action is inhibition of the synthesis of proteins preventing growth. No longer a first line drug in any developed nation. This has been actually banned except for usage for the conjunctivitis due to increased resistance and worries about safety. So chloramphenicol has now been stopped being used, but because of the lot of resistance by the bacteria. The next one is called as glycopeptides. In this, there are carbohydrates which are linked to a peptide form of amino acids, and there are examples called as vancomycin, teicoplanin. The mode of action would be inhibit the bacterial cell wall biosynthesis. That means the bacterial cell wall synthesis would be completely stopped. The next example is quinoline. These all contain fused aromatic rings with a carboxylic acid group attached. Examples can be ciprofloxacin, levofloxacin, trovaglofoxacin. Mode of action would be it would interfere with the bacterial DNA and it would try to stop the replication and transcription. Oxidolidinones. Oxidolidinones, they are said to contain oxidolidinone somewhere in their structure. That is this particular structure. That is nitrogen and oxygen. Now the example can be polyzolid, tedizolid. The mode of the action would be it would inhibit the synthesis of proteins by bacteria, prevention of the growth. The next one is sulfonamides. Now these were the first commercial antibiotics which were used. They all have got this sulfonamide group. They contain this group which is effective. Example can be prontosil sulfanyl amide. The mode of action is they do not kill the bacteria but they prevent the growth and multiplication, and they cause allergic reaction in some patients. The problem with this sulfonamides is they are causing some allergic reactions in some patients. Coming to tetracyclines, these are four-membered ring. When we speak about tetracyclines, these are four-membered fused ring systems. An example can be tetracycline, doxycycline. The mode of the action would be it would inhibit the synthesis of proteins by bacteria and preventing the growth. Macrolides. These are the second most prescribed antibiotics in the NHS. They all contain 14, 15 or 16 membered ring macrolide system. Example can be erythromycin, clarithromycin. Now, they contain a large lactone ring. The mode of the action is they inhibit protein synthesis by bacteria, occasionally leading to cell death. Next, ansamycin can also demonstrate antiviral activity. Now these contain an aromatic ring bridged by an aliphatic chain. Aromatic ring bridged by an aliphatic chain. Examples are rifamycin, naphthomycin. The mode of the action is inhibit the synthesis of RNA by bacteria leading to cell death. That is, it does not allow the RNA to be synthesized and it leads to cell death. Next, streptogramins. Now, two groups of antibiotics that act synergistically. That means they complement each other. Combination of two structurally different compounds from groups denoted as A and B. Example can be pristinamycin, pristinamycin 1A. The mode of action would be inhibit the synthesis of proteins by bacteria leading to cell death. That means the protein synthesis would be completely stopped, which leads to the cell death. Lipopeptides. They all contain a lipid bonded to a peptide. Example can be daptomycin, then surfactant. The next concept is structure and importance of chloramphenicol. The brand name is said to be chloromycetin. Chloramphenicol is a broad spectrum antibiotic which was first of all isolated from a species of Streptomyces from Venezuela by Ehrlich et al. In 1947. The soil organism is now designated as Streptomyces venezuelae. The pure antibiotic was soon crystallized, identified chemically, and synthesized. Chloramphenicol was the first antibiotic produced synthetically on commercial basis. Now, it has been an antibiotic useful for the treatment of number of bactericidal infection This includes use as an eye ointment to treat conjunctivitis. By mouth or by injection into a vein, it is used to treat meningitis, plague, cholera, and typhoid fever. Monitoring both blood levels of the medication and blood cell levels every 2 days is recommended during the treatment. Common side effects include bone marrow suppression, nausea, and diarrhea. The properties of chloramphenicol are: it occurs as a fine white to grayish white needle-like crystal or elongated plates. It has a sharp melting point of 150 degrees. It has a bitter taste. Its solutions are neutral to litmus. 1 gram of chloramphenicol is soluble in about 400 ml of water. It is freely soluble in alcohol. It is optically active and it is soluble in ethanol and ethyl acetate respectively. The next concept is structure and importance of streptomycin. Streptomycin is an antibiotic first isolated from Streptomyces griseus by Sachs et al. It is active against certain gram-negative and gram-positive organisms, including acid-fast bacteria. Streptomycin was the first antibiotic of practical significance to be isolated from the class of organisms known as Actinomycetaceae. This antibiotic is very effective in treatment of tuberculosis, meningitis, and pneumonia. That means it has been utilized for the treatment of TB. Streptomycin belongs to the class of drugs known as aminoglycoside. That means there is a presence of amino group and a glycosidic group. It works by killing the organisms that cause the infection. The drug may also be used to treat other serious infections like Mycobacterium avium complex, etc., along with other medication. The side effects are nausea, vomiting, and stomach upset. Properties of streptomycin is: it is a colorless solid, is soluble in water, and is levorotatory. It is stable at 28 degrees and between pH 3 and 7. It is not obtained as a crystalline compound. It is an amino-based compound and it forms salts which are very soluble in water. The sulfate and the calcium chloride double salts are white amorphous powders. The next concept is structure and importance of tetracyclines. Tetracycline antibiotics contain hydronaphthizene skeleton as the characteristic structural unit. It is used to treat infection caused by bacteria, including pneumonia and other respiratory tract infections. Certain infections of skin, eye, lymphatic, intestinal, genital, and urinary systems could be treated, and certain other infections that are spread by ticks, lice, mites, and infected animals could be treated by tetracyclines. These were discovered as natural products from actinomycete soil bacteria, and the tetracyclines were first reported in the scientific literature of 1948. Tetracycline is a short-acting antibiotic that inhibits bacterial growth by inhibiting translation. That means it does not allow the synthesis of protein. There are various side effects including nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, loss of appetite. There are certain clinical properties to these tetracyclines. They are active against the majority of gram-positive organisms, some gram-negative bacteria like spirochetes. Now, these are also having some examples like terramycin, then oxytetracycline, so on and so forth.